Alright, all you funny people out there, whoever you are. I could shout out to so many people that I don't really know personally, but just think are cool, so I'm just going to skip it and say that this is from a work called Salad Days, or Jail is Crazy and Other Social Services! Exclamation point. And this poem from that series is called On God-Mongering and Double-Piety, or God's Rockets and Others Non-Starters. 1. Abuse and abuse and abuse lit the fuse. It was huge. And then what? And then what? Blow it out. It was huge. The strain of love gone bare for years, rare but mad with codependency. In the paranoid man who has let go of all worlds, tense as him as they are infringements on silence, on hindsight, on common sense, and on sensing, even sensing the commons again. These and this our knowledge, made of a bundle of sticks, whose letters look like houses, schools, or in the Hebrew book houses, shrines, churches, fish, and shrimp from the sea, other things, the flowers and bunches of leaf, all those outpaced in our marathon agony-in-Latin, some part of 230,000 words short of Korean, and 200,000 gained over the Chinese. At best, races of debate make up for competitive lying, sooner or later overwhelmed in curt, forgotten sayings of crazy people, on poverty and his lean body, outturned pockets and his soulful head, emptied of the soul in miserable trials, and the courts trade in distal spirits for real energy to live. And the soul of that, thought's bitter anger in the main void of healing breaths, but with wealth, the wealth of the experiential soul at death, being sainted or made by the man, made and stained, all watchers' eyes askance. He the inadequate devil, sure, and with faith's uproar, among whom now? Those who least need saints. Their wealth, the saints, is in a pure soul, as most of us have money, makes God's own smile, each their own frail smile. They're ironic about him, survivors, strangers, alas, alas, or alas, strangely saved, the saved one, saved from the dumb, half-human items on a list, ardor, the indwelling passion for beauty's gazes, waiting for more humanity or more bread and honey, who are very fat with the bad names of martyrs who make us feel, well, maybe we all were wanted, like the pale shade of cut marble, our stone statue defaced by bad folks on a traveling wind, all the more unwanted after being discovered from beneath dust and covered over again in brush ripped from the countryside, to hide the shame of discovering that. Maybe this game of love doesn't live on quite like us, for we are invisible and cower unseen, unknown, but it's in there, in the pathetic, the dead, for us to claim as an alibi the alms of unluck in our famed man. Christ's costs, ABCs in a spelling book. It shows us the 10 things that are true, but are they all the truest things? At least to the melancholy and the slaves of the sad. 4. Antisocial dust was asked of us. Therein we'll bear our obscene hides in craven lustiness of rude flesh's battle, in clubs of the debauched warriors of skin, the fealty to a gay that is really gay, beyond homosexual man's level of self-homage, ingratitude to other men through assault and battery, having taken sides against God and man with his own parade of dogs and mean snakes, and dust after man, made out of man as ash beyond the wrath of convicts, just left benign, with no conscience, to be eternal, blowing in the faces of the sad. But was it worth the trembling, the being in keeping with oaths, to wash off ourselves with these moral radicals, who sleep in the sweet sea, a lapse of tides, the gift, a power to be nothing, not God's question, but an answer to him, made into nullity by the beast and his beasts, or their priors in kind, war's gods. 5. On colonists and hedonism, it girls and the idea of America. And to remember this, you are not evil, no, not yet, who plays the twisted game or its rotten script, To one or many unclear ideas, a floral map on your chest that love has to be yours and you its. The double ambivalence of sin's male bodies and social political lobbyists, homeless, jail-ridden, debauched warriors, akin to the dead, the skin red, burned hot with sun and longing, and even that serious deadpan of mystery and its emotional fonts, emotional panhandling, and an emanation on the panorama of looks. He looks out from the core of himself. That's not him, mind you, only to find any of the empathy left in women's blessings, coward except to be stilled with the best in them, in pretty proverbs, then surrender to hope what's lost to most cynicism, to apathy for yourself and its agenda, until most of ourselves are found within deified space, and poor man's excuses, gray uses of the air and its countries, this world now American space, the force of patriots heavy with heaven, to erode the East's past within its contradictions. Morally, Christ blinks in a fit of the crown of thorns of him crying. That's a lightweight's abuse, for Roman malice don't it abound? Light in color, red and brown in tunics and brusque, their soft brown bruises, ink-stained at best in brown ink, like those smokers get sometimes in smokehouses, or those they bathe off easily in the bathhouses of their red dusty loins, but nothing compared with the blocks of black, purple veinous and deep blue they'd beaten onto us that would have then make a jail or prison to guard and waste their hedonist time in. Not that, that's an unsightly hedonism's bent, made to be lost in lost time to the defeated hedonist. Moral attestation or defeat the brood in mad punishments, trials, without any sort of wasting time, our folly ours to impose, mocked, laughed at as theory, and chided to who? King Kong? Then corrected on the assigned signs. Pictures of a man, his great loves, back at you with those broken teeth, wrecked scars of the cross on other than God's Son, telling you the way his life and he should be. Double-cross the rich, that's ours, the missing link. Suffering, a thinker then? Is it he who is endlessly pardoned, not our shadow? The soul's shadows, fake eyes blink to say it. You are not evil, but are in its redoubled war, evil again, new evil again, only in fresh war, new of hatred. May it stand up in court, that it might stand up in his court, without objection. 6. Our double love of Christ lying to God for the effect on both them. Green of trends, what all are you, sweet laughing? The envy of our guile, blind guile, only guessing after beauty, with no eyes. So just saying, love you guys, whoever, loose whoever. Of course I do, so take care.